You hear me talking about pressure a lot. Can you feel the pressure to get the forecast right? 30.25. That's a pretty high barometer for such nasty weather, really. Fat raindrops this morning, cloud tops up to about 25, 30,000 feet. So we've got some convection in the atmosphere. Not that windy, and look at the crow pointed toward the north. So really, a warm front still to go by Cape Cod, where it looks like it may rain several more hours, and we may actually get a thunderstorm. Here's the government map for this evening, and you can almost make out the red outline near Cape Cod. Oh, look, you can see a little break in the cloud right up there. There's that webcam. Everyone asked yesterday about that tempest weather system. Yes, we are going to distribute them, and we'll give you more information on that as time goes on. Remember that pile of leaves I had right there yesterday? Little night raking. It's over there now. Worm farmer work. It's a hobby. And I got leaves in the gutters. That's really fun. I can't wait to get up there on that ladder and do those leaves. So I put out a bucket here last night and a chair. My neighbor Mark came over and helped me. He made a video of me actually jumping in my leaf pile, which has shrunk by 2 feet since yesterday. Anyhow, just happen to have a ruler in my pocket, and that bucket I brought the worms down in, I can use to measure the rain. Looks like less than a half inch so far, but I think we've got another half inch to go with convection today. I did redistribute the worms into the pile right over there. It's a delicate balance, you know. Delicate balance, trying to get the forecast right. We've been talking so much about how you really had to ignore your weather apps because the weather keeps on changing. Well, the weather forecast keeps on changing as fast as the weather. And the one thing that we can all agree on, the front that moves north as a warm front today is going to settle back south as a cold front tomorrow. And the easiest part of the forecast is that it's going to turn colder here. We're still watching for that huge storm in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. The National Hurricane Center even identifies it now as a potential named system. If it becomes subtropical in the next 24 hours, it may get a name. The calendar does not dictate hurricane season, weather does. But either way, it's going to go post-tropical and be a monster storm out there on Saturday with a central pressure in the low 950s. And you got a high pressure system moving into southeastern Canada, which is in the low 1050s. This is in millibars. So that gives us about 100 millibar gradient between southeastern Canada and the central of the Atlantic Ocean. And the Ocean Pacific Center, Ocean Prediction Center, OPC, excuse me, predicts 7-meter swell surf east of Cape Cod on Saturday morning. So there's your surf weather. What about ski weather? It's been out west. The snow is forecast now to come right on our doorstep this weekend through southern New York into Connecticut and then shift off to the south. What is that? That is symptomatic of a North Atlantic block. That negative North Atlantic oscillation. You can have a system come at us and then dodge south. I've seen that happen a lot. And believe it or not, that forecast is for bombogenesis. 1,008 millibar low south of Connecticut Sunday night. Goes to 983 Monday night, well offshore, in an odd trajectory, moving to the southeast. East-southeast, excuse me. And that's bombogenesis, 25 millibars in 24 hours. But we know the Euro overdoes the central pressure. Oh, yes, and I shouldn't forget about what happens before that. I mean, there's so much going on. We have that front, this front that's over us now, stalls, and we have that low-pressure system kind of sinking south on Friday and Saturday. So if you put this all together, it's going to look and feel like a nor'easter here in southern New England this weekend. And with that barometer building so much in Canada, and those storms stalled over the ocean, I don't see how we can really warm up next week. So we talked about this several days ago, how this Sunday forecast has changed so much now. First, it looked like we were going to be in the 30s, and then all of a sudden there was going to be warmer air, and we were going to be in the 40s and 50s. Well, guess what? Now we're back down to the 30s in the Boston 10-day forecast for Saturday, Sunday, into Monday. with potential mixed precipitation. I mean, I'm not going to make the call on what's going to happen here really this weekend. It just is going to look and feel like a nor'easter with mixed rain and snow showers possible and big waves. And we'll call the play-by-play on that. And then next week, now the big dilemma goes to about next Wednesday, Thursday. Are we going to end up with a warm system? Like right now, relatively warm. Mount Washington actually never got above freezing in this one. Or are we going to end up with a colder system? Yesterday, the Euro came in with a warmer inside runner for next Thursday. And in the last 24 hours, that changed to a coastal storm, deepening dramatically next week. If this really goes this track, goes to 977, in 9 days, we're going to have close to blizzard conditions in southeastern Canada. Once again, don't trust your weather app, and don't even trust me on this one. Just remember that it's going to be fun. And then it really does look like the long wave trough is going to shift into the east late next week. All the guidance pretty much agrees on that. So that wintry stretch we had November 14 to 24 may be repeated December 12 to 24. How would that be? That would almost lock in a white Christmas for much of the east. And it's fitting. I mean, that makes more sense than almost anything that happens in the next 7 days. We're going to be calling the play-by-play on that. Hello, Mark. Thinking of you. Some not so great news from one of my nice new neighbors yesterday. Did a lot of moving of leaf yesterday, working with Peter. Always fun on Nantucket Sound. It looked like a snow sky. I'll leave you with some of that. And just stay in touch. The weather looks awesome as far as fun goes, and also very unpredictable. It wouldn't be fun otherwise. Talk to you tomorrow. Still dealing with ice crystals up there. I think I can start this thing. If I start it with my other hand and then pull, it's going to spin me around. I don't even know how to start it. Not really qualified for this job. Let's try this again. This is my least favorite job. I don't really like power tools. Give me a rake anytime. Nantucket Sound in December. We got a snow sky. No, it just appears to be a snow sky. Those are ice crystals way up there, but that's 20,000 feet. Down here at sea level, it's pretty nice today. It's about 50 degrees. And Vineyard Wind Project, pulling the cable from the wind turbines off the vineyard right underneath the seafloor here on the south side of Cape Cod. The cable goes underground, then across the beach, and under the beach, and then on to Hyannis. We talked about it a lot. Is that a house on there? They can live in there, live and work on the water. All right, who's the bird expert? What do we have here? White-breasted and throated. Shape of a loon. Looks probably not a loon though, right? And then way out there, those look like puffins or something, but they're way out across and they look too small. Anyhow, fun birding. Fun birding. Their bodies are pointed south, but their heads are pointed north. All they have to do is turn their head and take off into the wind. Wind from the south means it's warming up. Nice day on Nantucket Sound. Vineyard Wind Project construction continues. Your cousins, Chris? Chris Lambert, meteorologist, and from a family of entrepreneurs, and this one is in Centerville. You got egg sandwiches and crows and Christmas trees. Oh my goodness. Wow. This is just unbelievable. That's bacon on something. It just goes on and on. Anybody hungry? Need to take something home for dinner? An actual salad bar? We don't do this anymore. Thanks for bringing me here. Bravo.